Hello, everybody. I am Vandal, and today well, I I'm going to show you Fall of the Titanic. It's a game that is early access on Steam. Now, normally I don't really go for early access games. I've only bought a couple. This is one of them because I am huge into Titanic. Very interested in Titanic. I really liked the movie, mostly due to the just incredible historical recreation of the ship and being able to see what it looked like. And so when I heard about this game, I was really excited. This game has, as you can see here, it has an escape mode, it has an exploring mode, sync mode, museum mode. Basically, the escape mode is where you start in the bowels of the ship and have to escape as it's sinking. Sync mode is along the same lines, except this is more where you're observing. You can go wherever you want and see what it looked like at various parts of the ship while it was sinking. And museum mode is something that they just introduced. It's still kind of a new feature, but I thought I would check it out because I have not seen it yet. And again, this is early access, so it's not quite done. There's, not a lot going on, but it's still very interesting. And you can see here, I believe it's made with the latest Unreal Engine. I could be wrong about that. It's definitely made in Unity. So, as you can see, it looks just incredible. And this is just early access, so I can't wait until it's finally finished. But, yeah, let's see. So, here we go. This is, I guess I'll just read. Welcome to Museum Mode. This mode is still in early stages and under construction. This mode aims to show the Titanic in a relaxed and informative way. It also aims at increasing the frame rates and RAM usage compared to Explore mode by decreasing poly counts. It's still being modeled, so the portion you see is only the part of the final mode. The mode might replace Explore mode when it's completed. For now, I hope you enjoy exploring the various parts of the ship and learning something about the history. Press M to return to menu. So this is, of course, one of the lower parts of the deck of the ship. This corridor runs to the first class aft grand staircase. It's adjacent to a lot of first class cabins. And, you can kind of see the void at the end there, but, that's fine. Just all the little touches that they had on the Titanic, it just kind of amazes me. Just the random chairs, because people might want to relax. So as you can see, this is B deck. This corridor runs forward. It grants access to first class cabins. The ship had, obviously had elevators. I mean, look at this. A chair and an elevator. Now, you're rich when you need a chair to sit on when you're on an elevator. First class elevators. These were the only elevators in first class and go from A deck to E deck. There was seating inside and an elevator operator to open and close the gates. The elevators were driven by electric motors, which were cased in the top of the shafts on boat deck behind the honor and glory crowning time. Now, let's go downstairs. This is C deck. Looks very similar to B deck. Of course, this leads to the first class cabins again. This looks like something like a coat check. I don't know. Oh, this is Yes, the inquiry office. So this is where you would buy tickets for the pool, the gym, squash court, or bathhouse. Passengers could also request for a letter to be sent in the form of a telegram. They would have to fill out a form, which would then be sent to the Marconi room to be transmitted. So this is kind of a little bit of, I don't know, I guess concierge-ish? It's just like a ticket room, you know, get tickets to the cool places. Only first-class passengers get to go to, probably. There's the elevators again, nothing much to see. Alright, let's go down to D deck and see what's down here. Ah, switching it up. Okay. I mean, just look at the ceiling. Like, it just amazes me, the craftsmanship of this ship and how arrogant they all were. Oh, it'll never sink. This is the first-class reception room, and this area is reserved for first-class passengers to relax before or after dinner. The entrance to the dining saloon is at the aft wall of the reception room. So, you know, this is where you go to hang out and chat amongst your other first-class passengers. This would be the first-class dining saloon. The windows in this wall are different on the Titanic compared to the Olympic, which had multiple narrow arched windows. This recent discovery was made by the team of the upcoming game, Titanic, Honor and Glory. Interesting. Ooh. I was not aware of Titanic, Honor and Glory, so I'll have to look that up. It's so amazing. Okay, so this was the biggest first-class dining facility on board the Titanic. It could seat 554 passengers, serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Passengers would be alerted for dinner by Peter Fletcher, who would play the roast beef of Old England. I don't know if that's maybe what song is playing. I've never heard it before. Menu. You know, I don't know how many watching have been on a cruise before, but I've been on a couple, and obviously not on the Titanic, but it is an event. You know, these people, you know, they come to eat dinner, and you are basically, when you first come on the ship, you are assigned wait staff essentially, and they will cater to you for the entire trip, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, you get to know their name. You know, we had a waiter who, you know, he told us a lot about his history, where he came from, that sort of thing. Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's all made up, but you know, it's you're in a different world when you go on a cruise ship. Kind of just have to go with the flow. You know, you have assigned seats, so you sit at the same table every night. And of course, you don't have to. You know, cruise lines tend to have these saloons, but they also have smaller dining areas. A lot of the modern day ones have actual restaurants. I'm looking to go on a cruise with my husband, and you know, there was one that has just all-you-can-eat sushi for free, and that's the other thing, is food is generally all-inclusive on a cruise ship. And this room is apparently not finished. I'm guessing those will go outside to the balcony at some point. Okay, can we go down further? Yes, we can. And, well, looks like it's not quite done yet. Under construction. Scotland Road. This corridor runs across the entire length of the ship and was mainly used by staff and third-class passengers. It connects the third-class rooms to the saloon and grants access to a lot of crew sleeping quarters, as well as storage on E-deck. It's always pretty amusing. It's used by staff and third-class passengers. It kind of shows, you know, like I said, cruise ships are their own little world, and you know, there's definitely a class system. People who pay more, they get better service. You know, you pay for one of those suites, and they'll go in and they'll clean your room twice a day. They'll give you little perks. You get special access to VIP only lounges, you know, for only people who are in suites. This is, of course, the third class dining saloon. If this were third class single males ate breakfast, this is where third class males ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It had an approximate capacity of 235 and was considered quite comfortable for the time period. Now, let's just take a look at this. Compare this to the first class. You have basically family style dining, rodeo style, whatever you want to call it. Basically, you know, up on the first class, everybody got their own table. Here, you basically, you know, huddled like cattle. It's still, I mean, it's still nice. But, you know, the chairs are basic, not padded. Now, granted, I'm basically treating this like this is completely accurate. I've seen photographs, but, you know, this is fairly accurate from what I remember. But, you know, it's, you could see, I mean, it's like, it's just not obviously as good. And you've got these tiny little portals, which for some reason I can see the inside of a warehouse. Early access, people. Got to remember that. But, you know, there's that. And, let's see, which way's back up? Let's see if we can get to A deck. 'Cause there might be something interesting up there. But, you know, it's fascinating, the whole class structure that went on. You could, you know, you see it a lot in the Titanic movie, where, you know, they really did treat the lower classes. You know, they were still treated okay, but, you know, I'll probably show you the Explore mode because there's a lot more available in the Explore mode. But you can go see the third class cabins, and they are not pretty. I mean, basically bunks. All right, so this, I believe, is A deck. Yep. And A deck is where you can get outside onto the deck. This is the first class promenade. This promenade ran from the fore to the aft of Titanic. It was not very luxurious compared to the other first class facilities, but it was quite a large area. Passengers could rent deck chairs to relax or just stroll around the deck. Titanic's forward promenade deck was enclosed rather than open like on Olympic. This means there were only rectangular windows instead of a railing. This was done because Olympic passengers complained about ocean water coming in during bad weather. And that right there is what you call a first world problem, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no, I'm getting a little bit wet on this ship that's floating in space. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. We're in space. Let's see what this says. This is a revolving door, in case you were not aware that this is a revolving door. Behind this door is the corridor that leads to the first class reading and writing room and the first class lounge. Yet another just like ridiculous first class reading and writing room because you can't read or write anywhere else. I mean, that was also a thing of the times, I guess. You know, they tended opulent people. Oh, what am I saying? Opulent people still have ridiculous stuff today. Unnecessary things. So this is the grand staircase. It was the biggest staircase on the Titanic and went from boat deck all the way down to F deck. It was only for first-class passengers and considered very luxurious. It was based on the design of staircases in Versailles, especially the staircase in Palais Garnier. The grand staircase was made out of oak wood and contained really detailed carvings. And of course, this is that famous scene in the movie where Rose comes down and it's got the clock. You know, obviously, you know, again, early access, but this clock is just famous for being incredibly detailed. And up here, in another just lounge area, piano. You can look out at space. Can't quite see space here. But, okay, so that's museum mode.